Have you noticed something unusual in your daily routine lately? Perhaps you felt a bit more worn out than expected, or spotted small differences in a family member and thought it was just part of growing older. For those in the later stages of life, or the caregivers looking after them, these little adjustments often go unnoticed. But through my many years working as a specialist in elderly care, I've realized our bodies send out clear messages as life winds down. Ignoring these important clues can rob us of valuable moments and a sense of serenity. In our time together, I will guide you through 7 key indicators, suggesting that the body is entering its final phase. Understanding these signs empowers you to approach these transitions with insight, grace, and respect. Before we dive in, I'd love to hear from you. How many of you have faced similar situations or felt concerned for someone close? If this resonates with you, drop a quick yes in the comments. It lets me know you're with me and helps others feel they're not alone. Let's proceed. First on the list, sudden loss of body mass without clear cause. The first signal is unexpected weight loss. Many individuals, especially as they age, may notice a gradual drop in weight, perhaps a few kilograms, and think, that's not a problem. However, when the scale shows a decline without any change in diet or activity, that's your first warning sign calling for immediate attention. As a medical expert, I've seen this happening because the body struggles to process food efficiently. Think about it. Your stomach and intestines, once functioning smoothly, now slow down in their processes. They may not absorb nutrients as well. This drop in mass isn't a conscious decision to slim down, but rather a body's effort to prioritize essential functions. When older adults experience such weight loss, it can be an alarm bell for serious health issues, including tumors or heart problems. Noticeable changes could be when your usual clothes begin to feel loose, and even compliments about looking fit can feel inappropriate because you know the truth. No effort was made to lose that weight. This kind of weight loss usually accompanies fatigue, loss of appetite, and a decline in strength, and studies have shown that unexplained weight loss of 5% of total body weight within a year often points to significant health concerns. If you or someone you love is going through this, remember, avoid forcing food. The goal should be compassion and understanding, not pushing more meals. It's better to offer small, appetizing bites and ensure hydration. Remember Margaret, a spirited 79-year-old whose son James offered her lavish meals only for her to pick at them. What she truly needed was companionship rather than a fight over food. Create a nurturing atmosphere and focus on connection over consumption. Second indicator, ongoing deep weariness. The second clue is persistent exhaustion. Everyone feels tired at times, especially as the years add up. A short walk or a family gathering might leave you craving rest, and that's entirely normal. Yet, there's a vast difference between typical fatigue that fades with sleep and deep, enduring weariness that remains regardless of how much rest you get. This profound fatigue is often a signal that the body's essential systems aren't performing at full capacity. Imagine your heart, lungs, and circulatory system as an aging vehicle. They've worked well for years, but now they struggle. The heart may lack power, the lungs might not exchange sufficient air, and less energy is transported to vital organs. This isn't about laziness, it's the body conserving its resources, deciding to prioritize only the most crucial functions. When someone finds it exhausting to carry on a conversation or even stand, that's a sign. Loved ones may perceive this as withdrawal, yet it portrays a vigorous fight within the individual. Persistent fatigue can stem from numerous health conditions, such as anemia or heart issues, and warrants medical attention. Instead of pushing for more activity, provide steadfast, supportive companionship. Think about Harold, aged 82, who once belonged at family gatherings but grew weary quickly. His daughter Emily noticed and tried to encourage him to join more outings, and this approach backfired. However, when she changed her approach to quiet moments together, the time they shared became far more comforting for Harold. Third clue: noticeable changes in breathing. The third marker often stands out: the change in breathing patterns. As the body nears its closing phase, air absorption and expulsion aren't as efficient. Picture breathing as a cycle that starts to falter. Initially, there may be slight shortness of breath, a subtle need to pause in speech. Over time, this may manifest as irregular patterns, shallow breaths followed by deeper ones, long pauses that can feel alarming to those observing. While this can be difficult for family members to witness, it's vital to understand that such changes are typically non-discomforting for the individual. The body naturally regulates its needs when approaching rest. Signs like a bluish hue around the mouth or cooler extremities indicate that the system is impoverishing resources away from non-essential functions. Rather than rushing to adjust their breathing, focus on providing calm support. Thomas, for instance, often wanted to keep his son Michael involved in ensuring he was breathing well, hovering with anxiety. Once Michael learned these alterations were normal, he stopped checking constantly and began to softly serenade his father with favorite songs. This soothing presence brought peace to both. Fourth indicator: withdrawn from social activities. The fourth signal is a gradual retreat from social engagements. This can be the hardest to accept for family members. Although it may feel like the individual is distancing themselves emotionally, it's often the body's way of conserving energy for essential functions. As activities that once brought joy begin to drain energy, a need for solitude becomes vital. What looks like a lack of interest is often the body's message to focus inward, away from the demands of socializing. As caregiving professionals, we often note this as a normal part of the human experience, and we can find it tough to navigate. Instead of pushing them to join in more social activities, offer companionship in silence. Patricia, for example, felt her father Edward, a once enthusiastic card player, withdraw from invitations. After realizing this was simply his body's way of seeking rest, she began to sit quietly with her reading materials, allowing Edward's space to relax without pressure. Fifth indicator: declining appetite for food and fluids. The fifth sign is marked by a stark drop in hunger and thirst. For many, meals represent care, and seeing a loved one decline food can provoke distress. However, as the body prepares for the end, it ceases to prioritize eating and drinking. The triggers for hunger and thirst diminish, making the act of consuming food less crucial. Those who once delighted in meals may now nibble or refuse food altogether. Family members often struggle, urging more intake when what the individual truly needs is understanding. Alice, whose partner George stopped eating, felt overwhelming guilt. We helped her recognize that George wasn't rejecting her. His system simply didn't require food anymore. Shifting her approach to focus on gentle hydration and small bites offered him ease without conflicts over eating. Sixth clue: changes in skin and circulation. The sixth indicator involves noticeable changes in the skin and circulation. As the body conserves energy, less blood and warmth reach the limbs. You may see cooler extremities or discoloration, which can raise alarm. Remember, this is often a natural response rather than a signal of neglect. The skin may appear thinner and more delicate as it prepares for the end. It's crucial for caregivers to understand that these changes don't indicate a lack of care. They signify the body's prioritizing its vital organs. Instead of fixating on these changes, provide warmth and contact through gentle touches and soft blankets. Sarah was worried about her mother's cooler skin and tried to rub warmth back into her limbs. Understanding the context of these changes allowed her to shift to providing comforting wraps instead, which was more effective. Seventh and final indicator, inward focus and diminished alertness. The last marker is perhaps the most profound, a gradual inward focus and decreased alertness. This shift can feel like a heartbreaking drift away from loved ones. However, it signifies a natural and often serene part of transitioning. The energy it takes to engage with the world lessens, and the person may seem to withdraw into their own thoughts. While observing this change, caregivers may be tempted to stimulate engagement. But in reality, soft presence, offering comfort without demands, can be the most supportive. Evelyn, a once vibrant woman, became noticeably quieter and needed much more rest. Her daughter Laura sat next to her and softly recounted daily events even as Evelyn appeared asleep. This gentle companionship fostered connection even without verbal responses. As we conclude, think back to our introduction. Have you ever overlooked a minor shift in someone and dismissed it as nothing? Today, we've explored 7 significant signs that can emerge as the end approaches. Awareness of these signals encourages us not to fret, but to act with compassion. By understanding these messages, we shift worry into kindness and foster deeper connections. Let's embrace these transitions with respect and warmth.